Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you are. We are back and we are live. It's another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you on a Wednesday morning. Welcome in. 7:01 and it is 32 degrees as we get your day started on this Wednesday morning. Want to remind everyone once again to set your calendars for December 20th. December 20th, that is the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Eagle Insulation Holiday Christmas Party presented by Talent Heating and Air. It'll be over at Flow Supreme Air Indoor Park Support, whatever they want to call that place. It's Flow, okay? It's got trampolines. It's got all kinds of fun stuff. It's got miniature golf. It's got all kinds of great stuff. And it's December 20th. So here's the thing. If you got last-minute Christmas shopping, bring the family, bring the kids, bring a bunch of toys, okay? Because that's your admission into the building is toys. Bring a bunch of them because it all goes for toys, goes for the North Alabama Boys and Girls Club, okay? The Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama is where it goes to. So bring a bunch of toys. That lets you in. We've got Bubby's Diner. They're going to be there. They're going to bring a lot of good food, okay? You get to eat all the food you want. You get to play around all you want. Let the kids have fun. Let them burn off some of that energy. You can even go Christmas shopping while they burn off the energy. December 20th. Starts at 5 o'clock. Flow Indoor. Okay? Right there off of Drake, right behind the Hardys. Right off of Drake on Lehman Ferry.
The former Virginia College.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was something before that, too, I'd imagine.
I can't remember that, but I just...
Anyway.
It was, yeah.
So that's December 20th.
Yeah.
Coming up tonight inside the Von Braun Center.
With the booming voice of Scott Theisen over the PA.
Yeah, they're going to be a little nervous on that one. I've done some big events. Okay?
Yeah.
I've done some big ones.
Yep.
But this is, for here in town, this is big. But yes, Auburn, UNC Asheville, basketball, Von Braun Center, sold out. Bruce Pearl talking about Huntsville.
We got unbelievable fan base in Huntsville. You know, Huntsville's the one part of the state which you get a feel like it's more 50-50 when it comes to Auburn and Alabama and Huntsville than you do almost anywhere else. Because, you know, with the exception of maybe down in L.A., in lower Alabama here, where Auburn has got a little bit more than Alabama, everywhere else is Roll Tide. Up there, we got a fighting chance in Huntsville. So I've been trying to get there to reward our fan base up there.
And they did. They'll play tonight against UNC Asheville. SEC Network Plus will have the game on TV. But come on down there if you can find a way to get a ticket. Get on down there and watch Auburn and UNC Asheville. Hey, wait a minute. I got an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we send somebody to the game here a little bit later in the show?
Yeah, there you go.
Why don't we send 4 people? Is it 4?
It's 2. We have 2 tickets.
2 tickets. Okay, let's send...
with a parking pass.
Okay, we're going to send 2 people to the Auburn-UNC Asheville game here a little bit later in the show. It's sold out, but we want to send somebody. So just be paying attention here in a little bit, and we'll give you your chance to go see Auburn and UNC Asheville coming up a little bit later. Got a lot of stuff to get through, a lot of college football conversation. We'll really start diving down into the Alabama-Michigan game, the Rose Bowl. Got an interesting number here because I looked at Michigan's passing defense, and I didn't realize it is where it was in the country. And then I started diving down into some more numbers, and I'll explain all that.
Right. Now, Barstool guy, Clown Patrol, put down $1 million and said they're going to blow Alabama out.
$1 million.
That's what they say. He's got more money than he's got sense.
Good Lord. Got some other good college football conversations to get through. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. You can be a part of the show, be a part of the program this morning. Let's go out to the phone lines. Mark from Spring Hill with us. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning. Morning, guys. Hey, just wanted to ask you a couple things about playoffs. Tell me if I'm right on this for next year. That if it were next year right now, the top four would have a bye, and we'd be playing college football this weekend at the home stadium for the 8 teams. I guess it'd be the next top four. We get a home field advantage, taking on those other four, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess where I'm getting at, I'm trying to figure out. I think it's weird, and this is just my opinion. Alabama was winning so many that they said we can't have this anymore with BCS, and so they went to the 4 game, and this may be a stretch, but now, we'll go to the 4-team playoff. Well, we got too many SEC teams winning it. Either Alabama or Georgia has done it for I don't know how many, and now going to 12. I do think going to 12. My point I was going to make ultimately is I think it's going to be more difficult, if not impossible, to run a dynasty of 2 or 3, or even back to back. And I wanted y'all's thoughts on that, because now you've got to play. If you're Alabama, you play Auburn, you play Georgia, you get a bye maybe. And then you got to play what, 2 more or 3 more. I mean, it's just I don't think people talked about that enough, about what just the number of games you're going to have to play after already playing the toughest league in the country. Are they not going to be eliminating SEC teams in these weak conferences who don't play? They'll end up, having more representation in that Final Four.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I still think it's college football, and I still think the strong will survive.
Yeah, I think look, I mean, I still think it's going to backfire on them. I think it's going to allow more SEC teams in it, at least 3 most years.
Right.
Scott and I even talked about this. When you're talking about the Oklahomas and the Texas and all of them joining the league, I think if the idiots at the Pac-12 and the Big 12 and the Big 10 hadn't blocked it,
right,
I think there would have been 6.
So
half the field would have been in
right.
the SEC this year.
So this year, if the college playoffs would have started this year,
right?
Michigan, Washington, Texas, because Texas would have been your SEC champion.
Yeah.
So Michigan, Washington, Texas, and then you have to look at, I believe, Florida State would have gotten a bye, and then Arizona would have gotten the Big 12 bye. So Michigan, Washington, Texas, Florida State, and Arizona, I think, would have been your champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know.
I can't. I'm gonna have to get used to saying Arizona in the Big 12. Yeah, this is just whack.
That's next year. I just think, I hope Alabama takes care of business. This will be the easier route for a championship this year. They've got Michigan, and I was looking at Washington a little more, and I think they're better than probably what people are giving them credit for nationally. In that they did beat a good, maybe even a great Oregon team twice, and so do y'all still think? I think I mentioned this yesterday, so sorry, my old age is showing, but Washington's chances in the Sugar Bowl, I think y'all said it's a toss-up, but would it shock you to see Alabama-Washington, or would it be more, you think, still Alabama-Texas in Houston for the showdown there? And I'll hang up and listen.
Look, like I said yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas wins the game either. To me,
Texas in a close
it's too
one.
Close.
I like Texas in a close one. I know Washington beat them last year, but there's a lot of opt-outs in that game.
Right.
And I just like Texas right now. I don't really care if Alabama can beat Michigan, which I definitely think they can. I don't care if it's played. out here in the parking lot. I don't care if it's played in Houston. I don't care if it's played, in Siberia. Just play the game, whip their ass in the rematch, and win the national championship. I don't buy all this. Oh, it's going to be overrun by Texas fans. Blah blah blah. Alabama went to LSU's backyard in the Sugar Bowl and didn't allow them past midfield. Who cares?
Right.
Alabama will have at least 40% of that crowd, I believe. They will travel. Texas will have the majority. That's fine. And the majority of them will go home with a whipped ass.
Look, you take Alabama over the years that they've gotten into the playoffs or the BCS or whatever it is. When they matched up against Notre Dame in Miami, Alabama was by far a bigger team, better team. I mean, it was hands
Let me ask you
down.
a question because you covered that game. You were
Right,
there.
right.
And Notre Dame is known for a national following.
Right.
How was the crowd?
Oh, Notre Dame by far.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, Notre Dame by far. Notre Dame outnumbered Alabama in there. But Alabama was the loudest because of the outcome of that game.
Yeah.
But what I'm going is that those Alabama teams were so dominant. They were dominant.
Yeah.
You look at these four teams in the college football playoffs right now: Alabama, Michigan, Texas, and Washington.
Yeah.
We're sitting here saying, well, that Texas-Washington game could be close. We think Alabama's opening, the spread is 1 point Michigan. Is this the year? If Alabama goes out and plays like they played against Georgia, I don't know who can stop them. But if an Alabama team shows up that has been inconsistent, then Michigan has a chance. Is this the most wide open of the four that we've seen in the college football playoffs?
I mean, I would say,
because we're saying if Alabama can do this, if Texas plays this way.
I've said all year that I didn't think there was a dominant team in college football. I think Alabama's the best team left. But again, they still have to go out and win it. And so I do think all four teams have a shot, of course. I do think they're all really good football teams. But, again, I think I would ride with the Tide because I think they're the most balanced team. I think they're the best team. I think they have a ton of explosiveness, though I really, I've always been a Sark guy from the standpoint of the way he runs his offenses. Certainly, he's got a good defensive staff with him now, and they've built a really good and physical front seven in defense, and they're good on the line of scrimmage, and that's why I like them over Washington.
Right.
I mean, I respect the heck out of Penix, those receivers. They can throw the ball around. Even their underrated Dylan Johnson, their running game. But I just really like the line of scrimmage for Texas, and it's why I like them in that game in the Sugar Bowl.
All right. I'll tell you what, 7:13. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we will indeed give away tickets to go see Auburn and UNC Asheville. So if you want a chance to guess a little question, call in now, 256-576-4977. Get in line, and we'll give you a chance to go see Auburn and UNC Asheville and Alabama and Michigan passing defense. I want to bring that up real fast when we come back.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck working in Morgan County off Highway 55. This one's on Wilhite Road at East Lacon Road. It's someone thrown from the vehicle. They've called for a second ambulance and a medical aircraft there. At Mooresville Road and Greenbrier Parkway, that one reported with injuries, but they canceled HIMSY on it. You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with a 2030 Fast Track Weight Loss Program. Find out more at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And we got to send somebody to the Auburn-UNC Asheville game tonight. It is inside the Von Braun Center. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock. We got to send 2 people to the game. Got a pair of tickets to give away. This will mark the 4th trip. Auburn is 2-1 all time when playing in Huntsville. This is the 4th trip for the Tigers. The question this morning is, when was the last trip for Auburn to the Rocket City, and who did they beat in that game?
Oh, boy.
And if you want to, you can throw in the head coach. But
I don't think they'd want to.
No, they don't want to. I know they don't want to. But anyway, let's go out there. Evan is with us this morning. Good morning, Evan.
Morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I'm racking my brain right now trying to figure this out.
So you're trying to win these tickets?
I am, because I went to my first Auburn football game this year. I'm trying to go to a basketball
So which
game.
Auburn football game did you go to?
I was at Mississippi State. The very first touchdown was right in front of us. I had great seats.
Cool. There you go.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
Then I had to sit and watch New Mexico State.
Oh, well, you were there for New Mexico State, too?
I was. It was Teachers Appreciation Night.
Oh,
we got tickets and went up there to watch that.
Well, I was afraid you were going to tell me that was your first game, so at least that wasn't your first game.
Right.
Oh, man.
Do you have a guess on who they beat in their last trip to Huntsville?
Last trip to Huntsville.
I don't. I'm completely blank right now.
Thanks, Evan. All right. Who else we got? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right, let's go
I
out
don't
to the
think
phone line.
Brandon's going to try to win
but
these
anyway,
tickets.
you know the question. I mean, people are going to search it now. But anyway, you know the question.
Yeah, you can call back, Evan.
Yeah, you can call back.
Try to call back, brother.
256-576-4977. If you want to go see Auburn play, just got to answer the question. Yeah. Brandon is with us now. Good morning, Brandon.
Yeah.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
My wife said to me yesterday, she said, I cannot believe She said, you sent those gifts over there in those gray poly mailers. And I looked at her and I said, what is a gray poly mailer? And she said, that little envelope. A little tough to open if you don't have something to cut them with.
It was, Yeah,
it worked.
It worked, though.
Well, I was trying to figure out something for Scott because I knew he's not really like a racy T-shirt guy.
Yeah.
And then I came across that when I said it's perfect. And
Well, he loves Will Ferrell, so I thought it was perfect.
Well, I was going to try to get him a hat too, but I wasn't sure what size.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the hat to go with the shirt.
Yeah.
I was going to try to get him that. It's better than me getting the Zara fishing rod that had no handle to it. And I didn't.
Yeah, it's sitting right here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's right here.
Is that? That's for the Czar?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that yesterday.
Fishing rod.
I was trying to crack these nuts.
This is an ice fishing rod.
Is it?
You could use this to go ice fishing.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Because you can make it small. See, when you
well, lately we've had some ice, so Czar might be able to do that.
You're sitting on the lake in your little hut, and you sit in your little hut where it's warm, and then you fish.
Czar trying to fish, ice fish.
Well, I really enjoyed Chad's shirt, the one I got him that said Santa used to say, hey, 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 till he met your mom.
Uh-oh.
Felt like that was probably toeing the line.
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to ask you, Crystal Balls, the two guys, Overton and what's his name, coming out of A&M. I know we're getting a visit out of Overton, correct?
Walter Nolan?
Walter Nolan is he has visited Oregon, and I think he's about to visit Ole Miss if he hasn't already. Now, yes, Steve Wiltfong of 24/7 Sports did report last night that Overton and his brother have visited South Kakalaki last weekend, Scott, and the next one upcoming is Alabama.
Raheem Sanders, speaking of South Carolina.
Rocket Sanders, yeah.
He is going to South Carolina.
Oh, he committed to South Carolina.
He's expected to transfer there, yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I knew he had visited there. Raheem Rocket Sanders.
So we don't expect a visit from Nolan in Alabama then?
Not as of yet. Now, it could happen, but I'm just telling you. Look, Jason Caldwell, I thought, was extremely insightful yesterday when he talked about the reason Auburn hasn't been mentioned with any of these quarterbacks. Now, I read an article it may have been you or somebody sent me about Auburn still interested in QBs, but it doesn't sound like it. According to Jason, the market for top line, portal starting quarterbacks is very, very, very expensive. And as far as NIL goes, and Auburn is choosing to use their funds to upgrade wide receiver, offensive line, and other positions around said QB. And, of course, and they're looking to bring back Peyton Thorne as the starter. At least that's the way I took it, Scott, what he was saying yesterday.
Yeah, and these people, if you look at some of these Auburn message boards, they are convinced that Ryan Williams is going to flip on signing day. Like they would mortgage their house.
Well,
I would be shocked if he did.
Well, I mean, again, that's fine. I think they are counting on getting that last visit. We'll see if it actually happens. I know they're making a big deal about he's going to be supposedly on campus to see Auburn and USC play basketball because overrated James is bringing his overrated son in to play against Auburn on Sunday. But they're making a big deal out. He canceled the visit to Alabama. Well, you know why he canceled the visit? He canceled the visit because he's in Hattiesburg, Mississippi for the rest of the week playing in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. He just got
added to it like overnight because he reclassified. And then
Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman, a lot of these guys that are Auburn commits aren't even playing in the game. They opted out. So he's playing in the game. So, again, they can believe he's going to flip to Auburn. We'll see. I know they believe they have a chance. I guess everybody has a chance, but I still like Alabama in this race.
Well, and I feel like Alabama could have done more with Perry Thompson if they'd have tried. I can't say that for sure.
Well, and then they've continued to communicate with him, but again, I've always just sort of felt that, look, you have to look at your depth chart, Brandon. Alabama has a lot of guys coming back. Now, they've lost Shakori Brooks and Tyu Jones-Bell, but Bell was never a factor. Yeah. And Burton is going to move on to the NFL, but pretty much everybody else is back, and they've signed Rico. They're going to sign Rico Scott from Pennsylvania, great player. They're going to sign Amari Jefferson, best wide receiver in Tennessee. Didn't want to be a vol and lose. And then of course they've got Ryan Williams committed. They've known for months that he was going to reclassify, so certainly they had a spot for him. And then I think they'd like to add a portal transfer. So Alabama, Auburn has gone heavy in this senior class within the state, and it's like Jason said yesterday, probably the best in state history. And they've got 4 of them committed. But I just think that while Alabama would definitely take Perry Thompson, and they wanted Cam Coleman, but Cam showed no interest in Alabama. He was basically he committed to A&M, but I always kind of felt like he would end up at Auburn, just like I felt like Ryan Williams would end up at Alabama. I think Alabama has been with him the longest, and certainly is gonna stay with him, and they know how important he is because I think he's the best player in the state of Alabama.
And Peter Woods, believe he was defensive lineman of the year in the ACC.
Yeah, he's a freshman All-American. I don't think he's going to go into the portal, and that's all Freddie Roach's fault, and he should be fired for it.
Well, that's a statement if there ever was. I wasn't even hungry Monday after Sunday's beef-a-rama. Roll Tide, and we will see y'all later.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon. As for Alabama goes, Saturday, they will return to the practice field for the first time as they start getting ready for the Orange Bowl. We will hear from Nick Saban for the first time on Monday. That's when he will meet the media to talk about going forward in the Rose Bowl. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Clark is with us.
What's up, Clark?
Clark, are we trying for the Auburn tickets?
Are you going for the Auburn tickets?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go.
Who did Auburn face in their last trip to Huntsville?
I believe it was Grambling.
No. It was not Grambling.
It was not Grambling.
They did face Grambling back in 2003.
Was that in Huntsville?
That one was in Huntsville, yes.
So you're closing in on it.
Yes.
And is this the third time that they've ever played in Huntsville, as you're saying?
This will be the fourth. This is the fourth.
Okay.
2003 was their first trip, and they did beat Grambling 105-56.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
No problem.
Yes. I'll just say this. 2009 was their last trip to Huntsville. They've not been to Huntsville since 2009.
And when was the second one?
So Tennessee Tech was in 89.
Oh, well, that one. So in other words,
and they lost that one.
So 03 was the second one.
Yes. 03 was the second,
right,
where they beat Grambling 105-56.
Yeah.
2009 was their last trip to Huntsville.
And then this one.
So this will be number 4.
Right.
For Auburn. All right, 256-576-4977. If you want to win a pair of Auburn tickets, call in and answer the question, who did Auburn beat in their last trip to Huntsville, which was 2009? Can't give any more, because if I give it any away, it's not normal for me to give that many clues. There's another clue right there.
Here we go.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can. I think someone is trying to get in here.
Yeah.
All right. We want to give these away so bad because I want you to go. We want you to go see the Auburn Tigers tonight.
Right.
Bailey's trying to get us one. Okay. Ryan is with us. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Do we want to try for the Auburn
A&M.
tickets?
I think you just won.
Yeah, I believe it's A&M.
Yes,
there
Alabama A&M. Yes, back in 2009, they won 87-52. That was the last team that Auburn faced here inside the Von Braun Center. Do you remember you want to take a shot? You've got the tickets, but we were gonna say, okay, you got to name the coach as well. But Auburn fans probably don't want to remember who the coach was in 2009.
I'm not an Auburn fan. I'm a Roll Tide fan, and Google came through for me.
So are you going to use the tickets or give them away?
Guys, I'm an Alabama A&M grad, so
there you go.
I'm definitely going to go. Yeah.
There you go.
Drew, you probably know a guy I'm going to ask. A guy named Lowell. He's a good friend of your dad's.
Oh yeah, Lowell Maples.
Edmonds.
Oh no, Lowell Edmonds. Okay. Yeah.
We were actually talking about going to the game yesterday, and
Oh, cool. There you go. Yeah, Lowell is. Yeah, man. He's a and you'll need to call our producer back and give him your email, because all this that we're going to send you, the tickets and the parking pass,
is all digital.
It's all digital, so we're going to need your email address and taking Lowell. Yeah, that'll be great. Lowell's a big basketball guy. Just went into the Marshall County Hall of Fame this year. Great player at DAR and UNA, and so yeah, definitely you guys have a good time with that, man. It should be a good game. Auburn's got a couple of guys with local ties, and Denver Jones, and of course our good friend Chaney Johnson, who was in studio before he left. Yep. So Chaney's had some bright moments so far. Denver shot the ball well, and so Chaney and Denver are going to be a big part of it hopefully tonight.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. I appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
So the coach at the time was Jeff Lebo.
Oh, Lord. I got it wrong. I would have thought it was Tony the Tiger, Barbee.
Tony Barbee came in 2010.
So it was decent for useless, because Barbee is basically useless.
By the way, the first trip that Auburn made, Cliff Ellis was the head coach. Did you see that Cliff Ellis recently retired?
He did, finally, after a long career. He's been at Coastal Carolina for a long time to end his career. And the Cliff Dwellers, that's what they used to be called back then in the student section. So, absolutely. But, yeah, Jeff Lebo, he just, like the late great Dean Smith said, at the time he took that job, he probably shouldn't have. Now, if you took the Auburn job now, it'd be totally different. But,
right.
But it was really tough back in those days. And Jeff had some bright moments, and then they hired Barbee, and holy Toledo.
Yeah, we got a X in or a tweet in or whatever they want to call it now. Yes, Auburn beat Grambling in 2003, but that was not the last trip. 2009 was their last trip here.
Yeah.
I forget about that one, because that one was just kind of underwhelming. It just they came in and played. It didn't have a lot of build-up or a lot of fanfare to it.
Oh, this one's got the most fanfare ever. I mean, we're talking about a sellout.
This one is big. This one has got a lot of juice to it. Let's get a break in. When we come back,
these tickets mean something.
They do. Well, because we're giving them away. They mean more.
Of course, that too.
It just
hey, Greg Sankey would be happy for you.
It just means more.
He'd be really happy with that segue there.
Oh, we got to get a break in. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday, expect a mostly sunny sky. High temperatures will be a little warmer heading into the afternoon. It looks like we'll top out in the upper 50s. Heading into your Wednesday night, we'll start the night off mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear. Low temperatures expected to fall into the mid and upper 30s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck working in Morgan County off Highway 55. This one's on Wilhite Road at East Lacon Road. It's someone thrown from the vehicle. They've called for a second ambulance and a medical aircraft there. At Mooresville Road and Greenbrier Parkway, that one reported with injuries, but they canceled HIMSY on it. You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with a 2030 Fast Track Weight Loss Program. Find out more at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Injured in a car accident? Get the help you need. I'm Morris Lilienthal, a personal injury lawyer right here in Huntsville. I've personally helped over 4,000 clients with their injury claims. My firm, Martinson & Beeson, has been helping clients for over 80 years, and we have received over 300 five-star Google reviews. We know that injuries and accidents can be life-changing, and I'm here to help you navigate the entire process. Get in touch with me right now by visiting morristheattorney.com. There's no charge for our meeting. Again, that's morristheattorney.com. I look forward to helping you.
No representation is made. The quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Have a drink at the Open Bottle, a copious selection of wine, spirits, and craft beer from around the world. They've got a full bar, wine by the glass, craft cocktails, premium bourbon, 48 specialty beers on tap, and a smart staff with hustle. There's an expansive, comfortable patio with a brand new performance stage and live music every night from local artists like Lamont Landers, Rob Aldridge, and James Irvin. There's space for your next celebration or corporate event. The Open Bottle on Highway 72 near Slaughter Road intersection in Madison.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
There you go. Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. Happy Wednesday morning, everyone. So, anyway, we were talking some college football. And, yeah, we could talk transfer portal because there's a lot of news there about who's going where and who's doing what and all that kind of fun stuff. And we'll fill you in on that. But we got to kind of not 100% break down Alabama, Michigan, but just start throwing different things out there as far as how that game might unfold, weaknesses, strengths, and all that stuff. We got a lot of time, but we really don't have a lot of time because next week, when we leave on Friday, we won't be back again until the day before they play or something like that because we're going to be gone a lot after next week.
No, we won't be back until the 29th.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have, like there is a lot of time before the game, but we're not in the chair a lot. So we got to start kind of turning our attention. And I started looking at some of the stats and everything from Michigan and Alabama. Do you realize that going into the game, Michigan has the second best ranked passing yards allowed defense in the country all season? Number 2. They're number 2 in the country as far as passing yards allowed this year in the whole entire college football landscape. Alabama comes in 23rd, and I got to thinking, I was like, that's pretty impressive for Michigan. I mean, Alabama's going to have their work cut out for them. But then I started looking at it, and I was like, well, surely Iowa didn't help that at all. Iowa didn't give them any numbers as far as passing goes. And I started delving down into this even further. Mm-hmm. Do you know the top 3 passing offenses that Michigan faced this year?
Well, I'd say the best was Ohio State.
No.
Wow.
Maryland. Mm-hmm. Maryland was the best and they were 20th. Ohio State was 21st, and then UNLV was 54th. The rest of the passing offense numbers, this is where they ranked. Iowa was 127th. East Carolina was 120th. Bowling Green was 106th. Rutgers was 124th. Nebraska was 126th.
I saw some of Nebraska.
Minnesota's was 123rd. they didn't face anybody that was better than 80th pretty much all year.
Yep.
I mean, their numbers. So Michigan's numbers, while they have talent on that backside of the defensive front, don't get me wrong, they got talent. They got some Jimmies and Joes back there. But the teams that they faced were horrendous when it came to passing. Didn't test them.
In other
Alabama
words,
will test them.
We had a caller that called into the drive last night when I was sitting in for mold time, and it was Wes and I at our great sponsor, the Furniture Factory, and he called in and he wanted Alabama to not practice at all because you just announced to everybody they're practicing on Saturday to start out.
Yes.
He was demanding that they play Florida State this coming December the 20th in a playoff for the playoff. And decide who is going to be, in the Final Four. And to be honest with you, Michigan should be playing in that game because they played squat. Besides Ohio State, I mean, you just talked about it yourself.
That's the passing.
Alabama played a much tougher schedule than Michigan did. Period. End of story.
So Alabama is 23rd in the country in passing yards allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, they only give up 188. Michigan, by the way, gives up 152. So I was like, okay, so let's be fair as fair. Let's look at Alabama's schedule and find out the offenses that they played. Okay, yeah, sure. Auburn was 122nd. Kentucky was 93rd. Mississippi State was 109th. Okay, those are the bad ones. Texas was 18. South Florida ended up with the 30th best passing offense in the country this year.
I think South Florida's a little better than East Carolina. That's all I'll say.
Ole Miss was 22nd. Texas A&M, despite Jimbo Fisher being in Jimbo Fisher's head and getting in his own way, had the 40th best passing offense in the country. Tennessee was 46th. LSU was 4th. Georgia's was 10th.
Yeah, Alabama actually played somebody. I mean, no offense, but they didn't play Iowa in the Big Ten championship.
I'm just saying,
I know. No offense.
No.
Okay.
That's the point is that
Michigan didn't have to throw a pass against Penn State because Penn State's garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Alabama's just going to come in there and roll over Michigan.
Michigan can beat Alabama, but I'm just saying, acting like Michigan's some juggernaut that can't be beat. The SOBs have never won a playoff game, okay? Let's see if they can step it up. We'll see.
Because Jalen Milroe will test this Michigan secondary.
I mean, he will, but and again, they may be able to contain Milroe. We'll see what kind of game plan they've got. But I like Alabama's chances because I think they have better players, period.
All right, we'll continue to break this game down. We'll continue to look at it from different
Nick Saban
avenues,
over Cheater
different
Boy.
angles. But today was the passing yards and passing yards allowed because Michigan is sitting there at number 2 in the country. Ohio State, by the way, was number 1 in passing yards allowed this year. They only allowed 147.
But they also played in the same slapdick conference.
There you go. You know who the top 3 passing yard defenses were? All from the Big Ten. Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State.
Of course.
All 3 never had to face anybody that threw the ball a lot.
And when Penn State faced Michigan and Ohio State, what happened? They got whacked.
Yeah.
Got blown out because they stink.
And Georgia's, by the way, was 12th. And Alabama had, what would you say, success-wise passing game in the SEC title game?
Well, I mean, I didn't think they threw the ball very well against Georgia. I thought Georgia had something to do with that, of course, because I do think Georgia had an elite football team. I thought that Milroe missed some throws. I thought he underthrew some guys. But when it mattered, he stepped up and made plays. And maybe what he has to do against Michigan, we'll see. I mean, Michigan's both of them going to have a month to prepare. So, they're both going to put their best foot forward. And I do understand Michigan is a team that's going to come in with a chip on their shoulder because, they're angry that people accuse them of doing something that they did. Again, it is what it is. It's Nick Saban versus Ant-Man. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, let's get a break in. Because when we come back, we're going to wrap up hour 1 of Talking Ball, 256-576-4977. Feel free to reach out to us on a Wednesday morning. A cold start to your Wednesday morning. Hey, Drew, we're at least at 34 now. We're above freezing.
Yeah, it wasn't today of the 3 days was the least. I mean, there was a little bit of ice out there, but it wasn't nearly as bad as the other.
Was
two.
your car frozen today?
A little bit, not much. It was not. I mean, it was basically almost frozen shut the previous two. But it looked like I was in an igloo, but not today.
All right, we'll get to your phone calls when we return.
Yeah.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck working in Morgan County off Highway 55. This one's on Will Height Road at East Lacon Road. It's someone thrown from the vehicle. They've called for a second ambulance and a medical aircraft there. At Mooresville Road and Greenbrier Parkway, that one reported with injuries, but they canceled HIMSY on it. You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with a 2030 Fast Track Weight Loss Program. Find out more at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Everyone loves Nashville right now. It's the perfect family getaway, but it isn't just known for its food, bright lights, and music. It's also known for football. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl is coming to Nissan Stadium on December 30th. Come see Auburn versus Maryland right here in Music City. The music, the food, the fun. Spend your weekend in Nashville. It's your family's perfect start to the new year. Tickets are available now at musiccitybowl.com and on SeatGeek. Brought to you by Tennessee Lottery.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
Got all that stuff.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. A lot of good stuff going on. Don't forget tonight, Auburn and UNC Asheville, 7 o'clock, Von Braun Center. If you want to go watch some high-profile college basketball here in the state. High school news. And we talked about this yesterday a little bit, and it's all over now. But Wade Waldrop, no longer there at Hoover.
Yeah, he resigned. They have a new athletic director, a new principal, and Not sure they saw eye to eye, and so he resigned. I hate it for him. I think he's a big-time head coach. I think if they had been patient, he would have gotten Hoover back to where they wanted. He beat Thompson his first year, had a tough year this year, but I still think they would have bounced back. But I think he's an outstanding football coach. He's certainly going to land on his feet, and we'll see where that is. But certainly Wade Waldrop did an outstanding job here building this James Clemens program. Has got several guys, LeBron Ray, Monty Rice, in the National Football League right now among them that played for him, several on the college level. So he's done an amazing job, and I just think we have not heard the last of him. We'll see where he lands in his next job, but I still think and Hoover is a different set of expectations and circumstances, and they want to win each and every year. That's what's tough about that region and that job especially. But certainly he's a quality individual. I think he had Florence on the right track when he left to go to Hoover. Certainly looking forward to seeing where Wade Waldrop's next stop is.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. Jeremy's with us. Good morning, Jeremy.
I know a great high school for him to go to if they just get together and get him. That's Etowah.
Yeah, I mean, I know another one too, and it starts with an H.
We'll just say it.
Yeah,
Huntsville High.
Love to see him at Huntsville High, but we'll see. Huntsville High, they're going to have a new era at starting this fall at football coach. We'll see, who ends up taking that Crimson Panther job. I know those interviews are underway, but would love to see Wade Waldrop back in our community. I think he's an outstanding person and head coach.
Well, I've got a question for you that kind of throws in college and NFL with what we saw with the Kansas City game the other night. When I was in high school, my senior year, I did the co-op. I decided that I was going to work and pay for a car and have a car to drive back and forth to school to play football.
Nice.
That was where I was at in my life. And but I didn't have to ever be at work until after school.
Yeah.
So I was getting off a half a day and was just kind of, not doing anything. Well, I used to go down to the gym, and the coach would let me go and work out in the weight room during that athletic PE time. And while I was there one day, a referee, I knew the guy was a referee.
Yeah.
And he came and he picked up videotapes. Kind of like I know other schools would come by and pick videotapes up when they were playing somebody we had played. They swap tapes, stuff like that. But a referee came and did that. And I asked him, I said, what are you picking up tapes for? And he said, we go back and watch the games. And we watch what the referees call and what the referees don't call.
Yeah.
And so do they not do that in college and NFL where they go back and they have people that watch those games and then give the referees a grade on what they do wrong? So if they do that, how do these officials get back on big-time games? Like, how does that – I don't understand how they continue. It's like I feel like there should be regulation, how you say it. It's 7:52 in the morning. I can't –
Retribution.
World right now.
Well, I mean
I think they should be dropped down.
reprimanded or whatnot.
Yeah.
If they miss enough calls, don't grade out
and
well.
If you're just so terrible that you miss a lot of calls, send them to the XFL.
So let me ask you, what's the feeling here? And Mark Russell would be a great person to ask this question too.
Because he and Lamar Futch have been officials for many years.
It's not the referee's job to make sure that a player lines up on sides. If the player asks him if I'm off sides, then they can tell them to move back. But it's not the referee's job to make sure that a player is right there, right? Am I wrong in thinking that the player's got to know whether or not you're lining up offsides.
Oh yeah,
they know their playbook.
Yeah, and they're supposed to. If you just ask the official, he'll tell you.
But he never asked.
Which Kadarius Toney didn't. He was offsides, and
yes,
Kansas City's frustrated because they stink right now. They're known more for Taylor Swift than winning.
There you go.
Well,
but they've won a couple Super Bowls. Get over it.
It's been a point of when you see, like, I look at the way that it is now. I remember back when referees wasn't on screen, they didn't have retired officials, and they were actually part of the broadcast. I mean, because it seems like every game you watch, like every time I watched the CBS game this year with Alabama, well, we're going to go to Gene and to talk to him about what happened on that last play.
Right.
I mean, so they have a rules official now that actually are watching the games, and I do understand that it's hard that we see that.
Mm-hmm.
We see it on television, and we see 6 or 7 different angles of it, and they only have one angle of what they're seeing. And it's a whole lot faster of a game when you're down there on the field than it is when you're watching it on the screen. So, but I don't know. I've heard these officials are they're not, during the week they have part-time jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not just hey, we're just like, we practice and we do this and we do that and all that. I understand that, but it just there's to me it still feels like they need to be. It just seems like there's a little bit more that needs to be done to say, hey, we got to get a little better on these calls.
Yeah.
And then officially start treating holding like traveling in the National Basketball League, because it never gets called, and there's traveling on every play pretty much, just like there's holding on every play. So let's just quit calling holding, unless it's a defensive holding or a holding out, on a wide receiver or something that's just visible and keeps them catching the pass, part of the pass interference. But can we just quit calling it on offensive linemen?
Thanks for the phone call, Terry.
Well, I think a lot of it's hand placement too. If you keep your hands inside now,
Right.
they don't call it a lot.
Right.
So
got some sad news though to pass along.
Right.
And I just saw this, and it just happened about an hour ago. They just put the information out, and a lot of people that follow college football in the state of Alabama, this will. Bill Burgess, former Jacksonville State head coach Bill Burgess,
legend, yeah,
has passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Burgess, he led the Gamecocks for 12 seasons from 85 to 96, 2 NCAA Division II national championships. His total record at JSU was 84-49-4. He played at Auburn as a fullback in 1962, but he's passed away. Bill Burgess, legendary Jacksonville State head coach Bill Burgess has passed away.
Yeah, during his tenure at Jacksonville State, I used to hear him on radio shows every now and then, and of course knew the kind of program he ran when they were a Division II power. And it seemed like for a few years there, they were in the national championship game every year. They had to kind of run like the UNA kind of took that torch, Bobby Wallace, and it was Jacksonville State, then UNA. And so, Coach Burgess was definitely a legend, and that's why it's Burgess Field, over there. There's no question that he had a profound impact on Jacksonville State, now Jack State football, and it's going to be awesome to see them take the field on Saturday against Louisiana in their first FBS bowl game. And so in the New Orleans Bowl, and it'll be the first bowl game. And, hey, don't forget to join our bowl challenge. Okay?
Are you in it yet?
No, I'm not in it. I haven't joined it yet.
I'm not in it either. I'm still waiting to decide if I'm actually going to be in it.
Well, I mean, we can't win it. We're employees, for crying out loud. It's not like,
Picking bowl games is so hard because
who's going to opt out?
Who's going to opt out?
Yeah.
Who's not going to be there? You're telling me I got to pick a game now? Georgia doesn't even know if Carson Beck will be there.
Oh, give me a break.
No,
he's coming back.
Know.
He's coming
he
back.
He has not told Georgia he's coming back.
He's just wanting more NIL money. He's coming back.
What if he decides to go to the NFL? What if someone gets in his head and says you're a first-day pick in the NFL?
Why do you think Dylan Raiola is taking $3 million allegedly and going to Nebraska,
Because Georgia won't pay him.
Yeah, because they know Carson Beck's coming back and they got to pay him.
Is he?
I think he is.
He may not be.
Oh, come on.
What if he doesn't? If he doesn't, Georgia's hurting.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Take the guesswork out of your holiday gifts. OmahaSteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and save an additional $30 with promo code VSIN. OmahaSteaks.com.
Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is done for the season. He had surgery on his right index finger after suffering a broken finger in Sunday's loss. It was a 24-7 setback against the Broncos. That means Easton Stick will get the start this Thursday night at Las Vegas. The Raiders looking to snap a 3-game losing skid. Both teams are 5-8-0, chasing the 7-6-0 Broncos for second place in the AFC West. The 8-5-0 Chiefs lead the division, but they've lost 2 in a row. Vegas favored by 3 heading in. The Chargers plus 135 on the money line. The over-under 34. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. I know we got Brian Matthews and we got to talk Auburn football, but this number here just popped into my brain. 22 teams. College football teams led at some point against the 4 schools that made the college football playoff. Of those 22, no team held a bigger lead than Tennessee's 13-point lead against Alabama. Think about that. I know.
Okay, say that again.
Okay, 22 teams led at some point against the 4 schools that made the college football playoff.
Right.
Of those 22, no team held a bigger lead than Tennessee's 13-point lead against Alabama.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. Chew on that.
What a glorious second half that was.
We got to talk college basketball because the Auburn Tigers are here. They're in Huntsville. They're taking on UNC Asheville
Speaking of glorious,
tonight.
this is a sellout.
It is a sellout. Auburn, by the way, their Ken Palm ranking is 11.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming off their best performance of the year, too. They just absolutely whacked Indiana over in Atlanta. I mean, whew. And then, as you said, Auburn's been here since yesterday. They took in one of their top targets, as far as he's just a sophomore, Caleb Holt, as the Buckhorn Bucks came back to get a thrilling win, 55-54 over Jack Dawson's Grissom Tigers. It was an outstanding game you heard on our streaming network with Bailey and John Abraham on the call. And Auburn will take the court tonight against UNC Asheville, a program that has been a perennial NCAA tournament contender. And Auburn will be playing in front of a sellout crowd. We just gave away 2 tickets and a parking pass this morning. And we're now going to talk to one of our good friends, Brian Matthews. He and Auburn Sports do a great job covering Auburn hoops. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk some Auburn football as well with Brian. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We are good. Okay, I'll put you on the spot. Are you making the trek here, or who is going to be representing Auburn sports?
It is actually going to be Henry the intern that will be in Huntsville.
Oh,
today.
Huntsville's not good enough for you. That's okay. That's okay.
It's a long trip, man. It's a long trip.
We're heartbroken, but we'll get over it.
I have much bigger plans. Taylor Swift and I are celebrating our birthdays together.
Oh,
okay.
Look out.
Okay.
Some guy named Travis wanted to come hang out with us, too. I don't really know much about it.
Uh-oh.
Well, anyway, if Auburn would ever get to play at home, you might get to see this team a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Well, they're traveling. Yeah.
9 on the road so far. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, but that performance, it was a slow start against Indiana, but then it was like an avalanche.
It really was. I don't know when it started. It was close to midway through, maybe 6-7 minutes in, and they just stormed ahead of Indiana. Katie Johnson came off the bench and was a big part of that initial run, and they just sunk them. I thought Auburn's guard play was, it was outstanding, as good as I've seen it in quite a while. Shooting, distributing the ball. I think the craziest stat from that game was Auburn had 25 assists and just 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
And it was 2 turnovers until the very, very last play of the game when Auburn didn't get a shot off in time, so they got a shot clock violation, I think, with under a second left. So it was just a dominating performance all around. And it says a lot when your best player, Janai Broome, only has doesn't have as maybe his worst day offensively, and you still blow out a quality Indiana team.
Yeah, there's no question. Denver Jones had 12. We're looking forward to seeing him tonight. But, one of my favorite guys, he's been around a while, but Jalen Williams had 24. Aiden Holloway, the freshman, had 24. Just a situation. Chaney Johnson didn't get a lot of run. Hopefully he'll get more run tonight. But Trey Donaldson played well. Auburn they just really played in a great rhythm. Like you said, the guard play was huge in winning that game 104-76. Auburn now 6-2 on the year. And trying to go to 7-2 tonight against Bryan, a quality UNC Asheville team. And this is going to be neat because that was part of our trivia question that Scott came up with, because this is the first time since 2009 Auburn has played in the Rocket City of Huntsville. They beat Alabama A&M soundly the last time they played here. But this is big, and it's also big because of what Auburn basketball has become, which is a top 25 program.
Well, I mean, it's one of the Blue Bloods now. We always kind of joke around, right?
Yeah.
Like the little inside joke. But, yeah, I mean, Bruce Pearl has built this team up into a perennial contender in the SEC, had that great run to the Final Four 4 years ago. Honestly, I think it has one of the best home court advantages in the country. I'm not an authority on that. There's great home courts everywhere, right? But Auburn's got a really good home court advantage. The fan base really supports this team well wherever it goes. That includes Atlanta, that includes Birmingham, and we're going to see tonight that also includes Huntsville.
Aiden Holloway is SEC Freshman of the Week for the second time.
Yeah.
How have you seen him kind of settle in, kind of adjust to the college game a little bit?
Well, I think he's got a good personality. It's not the word I'm looking for, but he really doesn't let things get to him.
Yeah.
Even if he's out having an off shooting night, he's not afraid to go keep shooting because he believes in himself. But
his mentality
worked out so well against App State, but he bounced back, in the next game, and played really, really well. I think he's Auburn's first really good long-range three-point shooter in quite a while, which is something they were really good at, on that Final Four team. He's also pretty good at distributing the ball and beating his man on the dribble penetration and doing a lot of those other things too. But I think his best asset right now is just having a lot of self-confidence and being a really good three-point shooter, which is something that Auburn's needed for the past few years.
Yeah, and along with him and Denver Jones and Trey Donaldson's improvement, I think Bruce Pearl felt like, Brian, that last year's team struggled a lot with the perimeter shot, but he felt like this Auburn team was going to be a lot better.
Yeah, Denver has certainly added to that too. And the other thing I should have mentioned about Aiden is I've had players and coaches mention that he's the hardest working player on the team. As far as the amount of time he spends in the gym, so that tells you a lot about his character too. But Denver and him have certainly helped out. Jalen had a terrific game. I thought maybe one of his best games ever, against Indiana. And, Chad Baker can hit that three. Deny has, shown that he can make that three. So they've got a lot more options from beyond the arc now, which makes them more difficult to defend. And Pearl started running a lot more of that five-out offense, he calls it, which is what a lot of NBA teams are running. Basically, it's all five players working on the perimeter, and that can be really tough matches. That can be a really tough matchup for teams who aren't athletic enough.
Just to show you how good of a game Auburn had against Indiana, Brian.
Yeah.
3 turnovers. That was it. 3 turnovers the entire game.
Yep, and the second one came there in the final second with the walk-ons in there. So that's just an incredible force. It's something you don't see a lot, especially against a quality Big Ten team, and especially on the road. That says a whole lot about how well they played against the Hoosiers.
Well, and in UNC Asheville, I know they've been a perennial postseason team, made the NCAA tournament. They're led by Drew Pember, 18.6 rebounds per game. And this should be a fun game to watch because they like to play fast. They average 84 points a game, Brian.
Yep, they were in the NCAA tournament last year. They won their league, I believe, last year. And the Pember kid you mentioned is 6'11". I think he's a fifth-year guy. But he's one of those 6'11" guys that can shoot the three, handle the basketball, and do a lot of things. So he will be a tough matchup for Auburn, and he will be a fun player to watch. So I'm looking forward to it. We talked to Bruce Pearl yesterday morning before they left, and he called this one a definite trap game, and said it reminds him a lot of App State. So he wants to see how his team's going to respond a week later to a game that comes against maybe opponent that people are expecting Auburn to beat, but comes between a big win against Indiana and then a big game upcoming against USC, a really talented USC team. So I think he's sort of challenged his team not to have a letdown like they did against App State.
Yeah, USC team that everybody now is like, oh, Bronny James is coming to the Plains.
I don't know what the Lakers schedule is, but is LeBron flying into Auburn?
Yeah, I have no idea. We will find out, though. There is a lot of chatter about that for sure.
Yeah, I don't think Henry the intern will be at that game. If he is, he'll be there, but there'll be more. Brian and the whole crew will be there watching the James gang.
Yep, I will definitely be there. For sure.
Yeah, no doubt. But we're looking forward to Auburn being here. It's been awesome. There's been a lot of buzz around town. We just gave away the tickets this morning and gave away a parking pass. So I know it's a hard sellout. Bruce made point of that. I think the tickets have been going for a few $100s on StubHub and stuff. So it's going to be really neat to see this Auburn program coming into Huntsville because of where it is now. And so it's going to be a really cool event tonight. We've had a lot of success with Alabama coming here, and it's good to get Auburn in town.
Yeah, it should be great. And I know Bruce is really excited about it. And he likes to take Auburn on the road, especially to places where he knows there's a really good and supportive Auburn fan base. And certainly Huntsville definitely, fits that bill.
Well, there's a lot of excitement for tonight for the Auburn basketball, and basketball will get more excitement too, especially when they're at home. But the football side, Brian, it is hard to believe the National Signing Day is next week.
Yeah, a week from today.
A week from today. Hugh Freeze busy. They're busy in the portal, busy trying to get ready now for bowl practice. There's a lot going on for Hugh Freeze.
There is. They got their first portal commitment in Robert Lewis, the wide receiver from Georgia State. I think he can play slot and or move outside if needed. Yeah. And, hopefully brings a little bit more big playability. And just, I think he caught 70-something passes last year, which Auburn needs receivers who can actually catch passes. So, no offense. They really do. So that's a big plus there. Getting Keontae Scott back I thought was huge for Auburn's secondary. I think they're going to lose the other four starters there or have to replace them. And Keontae is just a really good player and a really good person and leader on and off the field. So that's a big addition for 2024. And then, Marcus Harris declaring for the draft. Great for him. But certainly that's a blow to Auburn, on the defensive line. That's an area they're going to have to rebuild. They're doing a great job in their high school recruiting there on the defensive line. And that's definitely an area they're going to address in the portal too.
Well, and I was going to ask you about that. Marcus Harris, of course, a guy from Mobile. He transferred from Kansas to come home to Auburn and really got better each and every year. Was it expected that Harris was going to declare for the NFL draft, or did this kind of come as a surprise?
It was expected. However, Auburn was, making its case. I feel like it made a strong case for him to return, and I think he discussed things. Malik Blockton, of course, his brother is coming in.
That's right.
Here for bowl practice, I believe. So that was another reason that or consideration for Marcus in returning. But I think he ultimately decided it was the best time for him to make that jump, and he's really played well for Auburn in the last several years and been another young man that's been terrific on and off the field. He's going to represent Auburn really well in the future. So, and you're going to see Auburn really go hard in the portal on that defensive line. I know that Hugh Freeze is in Michigan, the Michigan State defensive lineman Derek Harmon, I believe is his name, is a top target there, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Freeze was visiting him last night. The same day that Marcus declared for the draft.
Wednesday will be a busy day for Auburn. Is this class is Hugh Freeze now? I mean, last year it was, hey, let's just get as many guys as we can. A little more picky this year on guys of being, finding certain position needs, or is this just still getting all hands on deck?
Well, I think if you go back to the end of last year's class, he came in and was able to flip guys like Keldrick Falk, Kyan Lee, Connor Liu. Those three guys all ended up being starters for Auburn this year as true freshmen. So they really did a great job late and kind of rescuing that class. But they did have to take a bunch of other players. Some of them are going to work out. Some of them probably won't. But I think they were able to focus a lot more in this class. And, right now it's the number 9 class in the country. I don't believe that they're close to being finished yet. I still think there's a lot of opportunities for them to flip some other players out there, maybe win a couple more recruiting battles here. So I think they could end up signing, 23, 24, up to 25 or 26. We'll see how things go. But this class definitely has a chance to jump up. And I think I heard you guys mention Ryan Williams in the opening.
Yes.
He's certainly a guy that, that's going to be one to watch, and that's going to be interesting, especially if he does stick to his plan, at least the last one I heard, which was to sign in February. So
he's going to sign in February. Because
that's going to be quite a January and early February for both teams in state. You want to talk about some drama? That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, and we did some digging on that, Brian, because he's 16 years old, so he doesn't turn 17 until February the 9th. That's when he wants to sign. Yep. So he's not going to be able to early enroll because he has to finish through May, and I don't think because of his age he has to wait to sign when he's 17. And so he has to wait till February, which allows him to take visits. I think he's going to be on campus at Auburn this weekend for that USC game. At least it sounds like it, after he plays in the Alabama-Mississippi game. And because I know Auburn's got a few guys still playing in that. I think is Malik Blockton. He is playing in it too, I think. But
I believe so.
He's going to play in the Alabama-Mississippi game in Hattiesburg.
Yeah, and they're going to have a good group of kids in this weekend for visits and
of course,
visits, and a bunch of commitments I think are coming on that Sunday too. So that'll be big, and that's going to be one. I'm not making a prediction right now. My prediction is it's going to be one heck of a recruiting battle, and there's going to be a lot of back and forth on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there will be. I mean, he's the best player in the state of Alabama, no doubt about it. Alabama's going to have to work to hold on to him, but certainly, and then Auburn has been recruiting him since Hugh Freeze got there. So it's going to be a battle, no question about it. And I think also Auburn's already got a great recruiting haul at wide receiver. They got Bryce Kane, they got Malcolm Simmons, and I think both those dudes. I know Malcolm Simmons is playing in the Alabama-Mississippi game, and I know Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman are not, but they're huge pieces there as well. I know there's been some talk about Perry Thompson going back and forth, but I still think he's going to sign with Auburn. So regardless of what happens, Auburn has got a really good, and they just got Robert Lewis, so the receiver core is going to look a lot different.
It is, and it needs to. That room needs to be rebuilt, and they've done a great job. And I think most of those freshmen are playing next year. It's going to be fun to watch that group. It's certainly shaping up to be the best wide receiver class in Auburn history. We'll see if that pans out, but on paper, it sure is.
Yeah, certainly. It certainly is. Well, Brian, great stuff, great intel as always. Let everybody know how to follow auburnsports.com and your work. And I know you guys are going to have coverage of the game tonight live from Huntsville with the Auburn basketball team. And, of course, recruiting is a huge topic with what's happening in the next several days.
Yeah, we'll have tons of recruiting coverage and portal coverage. I expect there'll be more news coming and going here for Auburn in the next few days. And, of course, we'll be there and have full coverage of the basketball game tonight and the big game against USC on Sunday. All that and more, auburnsports.com. You can follow me on Twitter/X and Threads at BMATAU.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big crowd. That'll probably be a sellout for USC coming to town for Auburn basketball.
Well, considering, think about this, though, and Brian alluded to it, and we joked with Brian the fact that he's not coming to Huntsville.
Yeah.
Auburn hasn't played a true home game since November 29th.
Wow, that is a pretty long stretch, especially in pre-conference without playing at home.
They've only had 3 home games, November 10th, November 21st, and November 29th. That's it. So, yeah, they're excited to get back home.
And let me correct something real quick about Marcus Harris. My apologies. I said Mobile. He is from Park Crossing, like his brother Malik Blockton, who will be enrolling at Auburn coming up very shortly.
All right, let's get a break in. Phone calls and more when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
At a wreck at University in Wynn that was reported with injuries, but they canceled HIMSY on that. Had a report of a possible structure fire, Highway 36 in South Danville Road. That's in Morgan County. First unit on the scene reports no fire there. And had a wreck in Morgan County that may still be trying to clear. Will Height Road near East Lacon Road had someone thrown from the vehicle there. I think they took 2 ambulances and a medical helicopter to get to take care of the folks that were injured in that one. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's making the best donuts you've ever had? Come see for yourself at Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Come in and order from over 50 flavors, all made hot and delicious. Ranked in the top 100 donut shops in the nation by Yelp. Bigfoot Little Donuts. Order in store or online at bigfootslittledonuts.com for pickup or delivery from Grub South or DoorDash. South Parkway, Huntsville, and County Line Road, Madison. Bigfoot's Little Donuts. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Welcome back, Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond on a Wednesday morning, 8:23. And we don't have much time left on our Wednesday show. If you want to be a part of it, you can. 256-576-4977. That is the number to the show. And so we talked yesterday about Matt Rule.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Rule said, hey, you know what? The going price for quarterbacks is $1 million to $2 million. Well,
he was telling everybody.
Yeah. So he's not backing down. Is one Matt Rule. And Matt Rule is obviously being very active in the portal because Nebraska is going after some guys. Well, Matt Rule visited Pat McAfee.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh. And he says, I'm not going to hold back. I want people to know exactly what's going on in the portal with name, image, and likeness and everything, and I'm just going to spill it. He said, I had coaches call me up after I said $1 million, $2 million. Thanks, you've kind of messed up the asking price for college quarterbacks. Here is what Matt Rule had to say about what's going on in the portal.
National ball all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, and I took – some people were not happy with me. I've had some other college coaches kind of get on me and say, Matt, you reset the market. But I do think it's important that people know, right? Because, what I'm afraid of is, like you said, I went to the NFL. I don't care. I'm going to say what I think is right. And when people like it, they like it. They don't like it, they don't like it. Like, I'm going to say what's happening. And at the end of the day, there are no contracts. And Charlie Baker from the NCAA is trying to make it where the college is like, we can't even have the conversation with the players about the money. So now you have, all throughout college football, you have players getting agents. Sometimes they're great agents, NFL agents. Sometimes they're not certified. There's no like NFLPA regulating it. They're dealing with third parties for each school. Each school has a different amount, and there's no system to it. I had an NFL GM text me this week, and he was like, "Bro, how come you guys don't just make it binding? How come you guys?" I said we can't even have a conversation, or else we get in trouble. So it's them dealing with a third party. They can tell a kid, "Hey, you're going to get $1 million," and then you can transfer from Nebraska, go somewhere else, and then they say, hey, you know what? We don't have that money anymore. And oh, by the way, once you transfer, you're stuck at the second school. So you actually get penalized. Like, you get penalized for recruiting a kid out of high school. He can leave for more money somewhere else. But if he goes somewhere else, he's stuck there till he graduates. So there is no system. And I think it's important that people know that. Because you know what? Some good coaches are losing their jobs, and some good programs they're building players up, and then players are leaving. And I'm all for players. Let me just say this. I'm all for players making money.
Absolutely.
I'm all for NIL. I just don't think, people should be walking into your program and offering a player on your roster money. Like, that would never happen in the NFL. Like, you got to trade it. You have rules.
There's conversations that have to, there's a little bit of some.
Yeah. Matt Rule. Interesting there, huh?
Yeah, very enlightening. It's what Greg Byrne, Alabama's AD, has talked about, a gray area. You don't really know what people are making, and you
have no control as a coach.
You have no control over it.
You can't even talk about it.
No, you can't, because the NCAA is a bunch of idiots. They had.
Can you imagine that?
There was. Can I imagine that they've always been stupid?
I mean, like Nick Saban, Hugh Freeze. They can't go up to a player and say,
"Yeah,
how much you making for NIL?" Or what are you getting for NIL? If they do that, apparently they're in trouble.
All they do is just make sure, I guess, the players are taken care of by said people.
Yeah.
It's sort of left unsaid. But, yeah, it's why Coach Saban said it was not a sustainable model. Dirtneck called him out on it, and Dirtneck got fired.
Floyd is with us this morning. Good morning, Floyd.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, Drew. Wanted to ask, I know everybody's all I listened to you and Wes last night and talking about the transfer portal and one thing and the other. But I haven't heard anything. The center from Notre Dame, do you know anything?
I do not. I have not heard any more about that. It all depends on Seth McLaughlin, because, again, Seth has eligibility left. I mean, he has, I think, 2 years, not just one. He's got 2 years left. So until they decide what Seth McLaughlin is going to do, if Seth comes back, they'd have 4 starters returning. But they could potentially have 5, but I think everybody understands J.C. Latham's going to go to the NFL and be a first-round draft choice.
Right.
Yeah.
They could
the only visitor, Floyd, pardon me, the only visitor that I've heard, and Steve Wiltfong put it out last night, as far as transfers go, that's visiting Alabama this weekend is LT Overton. Now, it may be that Alabama waits to see who they sign, coming up in a week on Wednesday, and a couple of those guys, Joseph Ionata and I believe Casey Poe, I've heard reports that they may be centers. But you never know. I mean, guys will probably practice at multiple positions, but they're high school players. So I don't think they're going to be able to be plugged in next year. But I think T.J. Ferguson is someone that's played center. He could slide over. But it's just going to be really interesting to see, what happens. I think they have to decide, the signing class, who's signing, and what their needs still are after this coming Wednesday, after today in a week. And then you have to see, and Seth McLaughlin's still going to start in this playoff. What is Seth McLaughlin going to do? If he comes back, you don't really need a center. And I know he struggled with the snap some, but again, he and Milroe are trying to get on the same page, and Seth's been hurt some as well. Because it's 2 years ago when they went on the national championship run, everybody loved Seth McLaughlin. Now everybody wants to run him out of town because he's had some snap issues. I mean, it's just like it's like a roller coaster. Everybody wanted to run Milroe out when he got off to a slow start, and now
Caden Proctor this year too.
Caden Proctor
because he was a freshman, and it was like, we need to find someone else.
How many times were we told that the offensive line was too heavy, that the offensive line coach should be fired, and it's just people just have to let things play out sometimes, Floyd.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was very impressed with the way the offensive line developed during the year. I didn't know McLaughlin had that much eligibility left.
Yeah, he does. He's a very smart kid now. He's already got his bachelor's, and I think he's finishing up his master's. So he would be working on maybe a third degree. But I know he can at least come back for one, but he may even have two. But I will say this: you can't put a price on experience, especially in the SEC. And we've seen what happens when you try to build your roster via the transfer portal, and have, in my opinion, too many guys out of the portal. You're not going to be an elite team. You can't just put together some, all-star team or something like that. It doesn't work. The best example is when the Lakers several years ago, this was before LeDum, when they tried to they had Kobe, they had Shaq, they had Gary Payton, they had Karl Malone. It didn't work. I mean, right. you just can't. And even Auburn this year, their team was better. There's no question about it. But a lot of those guys coming out of the portal were mid-major, like group of 5 players. They're not SEC guys, so you're not as talented as you need to be. And that's why Hugh Freeze is going all in and bringing in a really good recruiting class.
Right. Okay. Good show, guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
All right. It is 8:31. We've got to take a break because when we come back, so we mentioned that we are not going to be here a lot. So we have, 6 days? We got 5 days next week, 2 days left now. So 7 days more of shows, 7.5 more days of shows.
Yeah.
We got to set the table for the Huntsville City Classic.
Because we're going to be a big part of that again.
Which, by the way, I got a big thrill the other day.
Oh, really?
Because I mentioned I ran into a couple kids that are, I think, maybe college age, freshman college age. You know what they referred to it as?
What?
The Huntsville Times Classic.
Well, that's what it was for forever.
But it just brought a joy to my heart.
Of course.
I mean, that's what they still remember it as.
Well, heck, I was downstairs talking to our good friend Keith Neighbors, who's on our shows as well, some in pinch hits, and Wes had brought him a newspaper, an old Huntsville Times, from 1987 that did a feature story on Keith when he was playing at Huntsville, and it was the week of the first Alabama game I ever attended, which was the Mississippi State game in Birmingham, where Bobby Humphrey broke the rushing record. So that was pretty cool. And then, as we know, that was only about the 4th year of the Classic back then. Right. And the Classic was just in a few months. So yeah, it's always going to be the Times Classic to so many people because they were the first one that sponsored it, and the trophy we award the winning team is still the John Pruitt Trophy, who was the longtime sports editor, and it was just really cool going back and reading an actual newspaper when there was coverage.
When there was coverage, yes.
Now we're the newspaper, and we appreciate it.
Well, we have to be. We have to be everybody's outlet.
And by the way, he listens to the show all the time. I talked to him again, on Friday. And as Ronnie Stapler reiterated, all these people that are talking about what you have to do to enroll, like graduate early as a 16 core classes. That's what you need. You got to have 16 core classes. If you have them, you can take some electives, but if you have 16 core classes, you can graduate early if said high school is set up for you to do that. That explains it.
There we go. Now,
speaking of high school,
there's no way in hell I was going to get 16 core classes to graduate early in high school.
Me either.
Number one, my parents probably wouldn't let me do it.
Right.
They'd be like, no, you're staying in there. That's where you're supposed to be. And number two, well, the obvious. We got to get a break in. When we come back, more Talking Ball next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday, expect a mostly sunny sky. High temperatures will be a little warmer heading into the afternoon. It looks like we'll top out in the upper 50s. Heading into your Wednesday night, we'll start the night off mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear. Low temperatures expected to fall into the mid and upper 30s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a new wreck reported on the Parkway. Sounds like this one may be southbound near Governor's. Injury reported there. Got a couple of others on the Parkway. One northbound just north of Drake's, no injury. And we got one northbound on the under 565. It looks like that one may be in the middle lane. It's reported as a no injury. And we got Jordan and 565 eastbound ramp. That one is a no injury. I think there's a county deputy there. Snelling needs an admin assistant with experience in construction. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Last minute shopping? Ulta Beauty has everything I need for everyone on my list. Ready to gift fragrance kits from YSL and Valentino. And the hottest gift sets from MAC, Tarte, and Lancome. Plus, everyone loves an Ulta Beauty gift card. Shop last-minute gifts that will bring joy to everyone on your list. Hurry in store or place your online pickup order today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
97.7 ESPN The Zone will be bringing you the Huntsville City Classic semifinals, third place game,
and championship
game. That'll come your way in 16 days.
Steve Moulton and Scott Tyson.
Yeah, it'll be good to be back on the sidelines for that. So mark your calendars for December 28th. That is when we will have the semifinal games on December 28th.
Yeah, you were taking down memory lane just the other day, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Stopped by some kids and
I was. And it's interesting to listen to them talk about the Huntsville City Classic.
Yeah.
Because Richard Hendricks. We talked a lot
Oh,
to Richard
yeah.
Hendricks.
We wanted Richard to come and guest and be an analyst if we could.
And we've talked a lot about the City Classic, and we've talked a lot about, and I've you go back and you talk to the coaches and you talk to the kids and you talk to them all this, and they're just like, man, I mean, they love it. Well, when you talk to kids that just recently played in it, those memories start coming back to them a little bit more, and they realize, because I guess when you're playing, you don't really realize the moment. It's not until afterwards that you realize the moment of the Huntsville City Classic. And it just kind of goes to the history, the aura, everything about that tournament that makes it special.
Yeah, it really is. And, we got to get Coach Albert Powell back on the phone. He's got to get back on the phone there on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We're going to try to let him preview the Trotwood Madison Rams. It's a little bit historical for us, Scott, because, I've been around this tournament my entire life. I've been a part of it since 1990. To just give the listeners an idea, and you've been here since '99. So
99 was my. We'll see here,
Yeah.
August of '99. Yeah, so '99 was my first City Classic. That was the old rickety. I call it rickety, but the old Huntsville.
Yeah, the original Huntsville High. Yeah, you were there for that, and
Yeah.
so you've been around it a long time as well. There's certainly been a ton of coverage of it. It's always kind of been a rite of passage. It's been around since 1983. But the reason this is historical is the Trotwood Madison Rams from Ohio are coming in. They're the first team from really the northern part of the United States to be in this tournament. It's been a Southeast-based tournament, and they are coming to play and compete. And their acting head coach, Albert Powell, is now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline to talk some Rams basketball. And they are coming off of a game last night where they played over in the city of Cincinnati, and we're looking forward to having them be a part of this event. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. And first of all, prayers out to Peter Pullen. I know he is the head coach of this team. I know he's been in the hospital. We pray that he has a full recovery and that he will be okay. But I know you're coaching the squad right now. You guys played last night. For our listeners who are on, and we're going to get our first taste of your program, kind of educate us on Trotwood Madison and the size of the school, where you guys are located. We're really looking forward to you guys competing in our event coming up on December 27th.
Well, we're excited to be coming. Trotwood Madison High School is about 800 students. We're Division II in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We have like 5 divisions. So last year we were Division I. This year we dropped down to Division II, where they're pretty much accustomed to. It is an athletically based school, dominated in track for years, football, and boys basketball. Their previous staff has won a state championship. Peter Pullens and I came from a rival high school, Dunbar High School, where we have won 4 state championships from 2006 to 2016, and went to state at least 6 times. So when we got to Trotwood, we looked around and we saw that the ingredients are there for the making of a team that can be competitive in our mode. And last year was a fill-out season. This year we feel like we got the right things to get it back on track to meet the tradition.
Well, now you make a trip to Huntsville in December for the Huntsville City Classic. Coach, what attracted you to this tournament? Why be a part of this tournament? And what have you heard about the tournament?
Well, we heard it's one of the best tournaments in the United States, and we typically go to different tournaments over the years of coaching. But this tournament in particular, we get a lot of students from Trotwood and the Dayton area that goes to Alabama A&M. And it was just a natural fit. We'll have basically a home crowd down there. Our administrators are from Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
They give us an invite, and we think it's a good precursor to a state tournament and giving the kids that experience. And let's go on a business trip and try to get some wins. And
you just mentioned it, Coach Powell. So as far as in the area of the state of Ohio, so is Trotwood Madison, is it in the Dayton area? Yes, it's just a suburb of Dayton. I would say
northwest of Dayton, but it's still the same city limits, but bump up against each other.
Talk about your style. Introduce us to your style of play.
Well, we bring the same style that was previously there. We call it organized chaos basketball, where we get up and down the floor, bring your shoes, because everybody's going to be doing some running. We really feature some nice-looking guards, and we have 2 post guys, 6'8", and a point forward, 6'4", who's an Indiana commit in football and at quarterback, and we're athletic, and we go deep on the bench. So we're coming to compete, and our style is we hang our hat on defense. We're not a 100-point scoring team, but we try to keep our opponents in the 40s and 50s.
Well, we look forward to that. I mean, that sounds very exciting that you guys are coming to compete and state championship caliber program. That's certainly what we like to see. And also, Coach, as far as as far as you guys right now, how many? As far as the way the scheduling works in Ohio, how many? I know football is wrapping up. How many games have you guys played so far?
We're 4-1 right now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You can play up to win the state. You can play up to 28, 29 games. It would take to win.
Okay.
So our season goes into the latter part of March, around the 27th.
And I know our listeners were listening, and you mentioned Indiana football commit.
There you go.
Talk to us a little bit more about that young gentleman.
That young gentleman, Tim Carpenter, has been a 3-year starter in football for the Rams, taking them to the state playoffs a few years in a row, and he's also been a 3-year starter with the previous basketball program, coach there and with us. He's a leader. He's very versatile. He can run everything from the point to a good 4-man on the inside. So he's versatile, which allows us to do a lot of things.
And then, Coach, as you prepare, I mean, certainly are you guys as far as the schedule, the way it sets up, how many more games will you play before you make the trek to Huntsville and play in our event?
We got 2 tough ones. We got a Cincinnati Taft team who's defending state champions in their division, and they run and gun and press you to your until the wheels come off, to the leather come off the bottom of their shoes. And then we got a good city opponent team in Ponit High School who has good size and a couple 6'4" guards.
And for you guys, certainly you'll do your due diligence as a staff. How do you prepare for an event like this when, of course, you haven't seen any of the teams down this way, and you've heard about the tournament? But how do you kind of prepare, because you guys will play Bob Jones at 3:00 in the main gym on the first day?
We to be honest with you, we don't know nothing about anybody other than reputation that Huntsville plays great basketball. Which
Yes,
we
sir.
respect, but trying to find film on people has been difficult. Nobody's giving up anything, but it's only one basketball. It goes up in the air, and you try to get it, and you try to score, and you try to defend. It's basketball. It's the same all over. So what we don't know, we will adjust to, so hopefully we'll be able to get some information shared and be more prepared when we get there.
Well, we look forward to having you here in the Rocket City. I did not realize there were that many ties between you guys.
That's really cool.
And this area. But yeah, that is really awesome.
And then Scott he was of course in TV for a long time. He's been to Dayton. He's been to Dayton Arena. So
yes.
Dayton is a huge basketball.
We were up there for, ironically, Alabama A&M.
Yeah, exactly, in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, I mean, because Dayton's a huge basketball oasis in Ohio.
It's big time. They're building more hotels over in that area. They keep the first 4, and that's a big economy boost to our area. So basketball is big in Dayton.
Yeah, it really is, and we look forward to seeing the Trotwood-Madison Rams and this state championship contending program coming in. Coach, finally, with your roster, how many seniors do you have? How experienced a roster is it?
It's an experienced roster, but it's loaded with some guards. We have like seven seniors, with 4 of them being starters. Like I said, we have an exciting guard in Delamar Blanton. He's a D1 recruit. He's averaging about 20 a game for us right now. And Marlon Howard is just a workhorse. He's averaging about 11 points. We have pretty much balanced scoring to go around because the tempo of the game and several isolation plays we run. Certain individuals, it's a good thing to have twin towers. We'll play them together sometimes during the games. So it's a roster that we can put together and have 3 different looking teams out there. We can go small, quick, and we can go big and pound it on the inside if we need to.
Well, Coach, we Albert Powell, we really look forward to you and your squad coming. Safe travels. Good luck in your next 2 contests. We'll certainly be reconnecting to get for our media coverage before you guys get here. But we're looking forward to it. It's going to be groundbreaking for us to have a squad from the northern part of our United States coming down here to compete. We really look forward to it. And thank you for the time. And again, safe travels and good luck before you arrive in the Rocket City.
Well, thank you guys, and keep our coach in prayer, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
thank
Coach.
you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's some eye-opening stuff. It's really cool,
Interesting.
too, because a lot of
They're
connection
have a
there.
lot of people here.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Looking
we got to
forward
get a
to
break
that.
in. Looking forward to wrapping this all up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
At a wreck Parkway and Governors that was reported with an injury. It looks like they've canceled Himsey on it. Had one northbound on the Parkway north of Drake near Bob Wallace. It should be off in a parking lot. One northbound on the Parkway under 565. It looks like that one has been taken care of. And the Head County deputy on one, Jordan eastbound to 565 on that ramp. It was a no injury, so it should clear quickly. No hose, no mask. You can ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
It's
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, coming up tonight, the Southeastern Conference will unveil everybody's college football schedule for next year. Now, we already know Alabama's, with the exception of 3 games, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and one other
Missouri,
one.
I believe.
Missouri, yeah. We already know Alabama's schedule.
They did announce the Georgia kickoff at 6:30, isn't it? Right? That's September 28th.
So keep in mind, think about that, though.
Yeah.
That's a big change because, that would have been a CBS 2:30 kick.
Yeah.
That would have been a CBS 2:30 game. But now, because ABC and ESPN and everything, they have the deal, no more CBS 2:30 games. Next year's Georgia-Alabama game will be a 6:30 kick on September 28th.
Yeah, they'll be.
So
then the new 2:30 games will be Ohio State and Michigan every week.
No, that'll be.
Well, USC too. I keep forgetting
remember, Fox
USC.
still has the big 11 a.m. kickoff for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And then CBS will slide in, I think, second choice.
That'll be even
games.
worse.
So you're going to get some.
But don't forget, they do have Washington,
football.
Oregon, and they do have the new teams. So it'll be the coast to coast Big Ten. UCLA is going to suck.
Just imagine you could watch a Rutgers UCLA game at 2:30.
Yeah, I know, riveting. 125 odd passing offense versus about 130 defense. Man, great football.
Those schedules will come out tonight, so if you want to, you can watch them.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, Pat from
What's
T-Town
up?
with us. Good morning, Pat.
Sorry about that, Pat. How you doing, man?
Good morning, guys. Hey, I've been down in Foley, Alabama the last couple of days.
Oh, have you?
I'm hearing down here, all the scuttlebutt is that Perry is not happy with Auburn's NIL program.
Uh-oh.
And things is there's more to the rumors than meets the eye, guys. That's the word on the street down here.
I heard Hugh was asking for money, so maybe, I don't know. I thought they had a huge pledge the other day, though.
Well, they have some issues getting what he wants.
Oh, I got you.
From what I understand, they kind of like him quarterback. Hey, but now tell me something. But you're still saying that Evan Stewart is still a possibility at Alabama?
Oh, I would say so. I don't think he's officially gone into the transfer portal yet, but if he goes into the portal, which he may be waiting till after the signing date, without a doubt, I think Alabama would be a factor.
I got you. But now Evan is a whole lot smaller. Perry is a mismatch for linebackers or anybody else trying to watch. That he's actually the last time that I watched him, guys, he's a real deal.
Thanks, Pat. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning as he fades off in.
Hey, folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying, Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.